It is like the worst thing that has ever happened to me. I would not wish this upon my worst enemy. It is the hardest, most challenging thing I've ever had to deal with. And it is literally like the devil.
We are a pill-popping society, right? We write billions of prescriptions a year for billions of opiate-based drugs. And when you get addicted to an opiate-based prescription drug, your next step is heroin, period.
You think you can move away from it, it's gonna follow you no matter how far away you go. You know, you can't run from it because it's something inside you that you need to get right. And you need to get help to get over the heroin because it's just so powerful.
I would steal from my mom from an early age, even before heroin. And that's all I cared about. I didn't think about anything other than drugs.
Things are always gonna get really, really bad long before you realize that it's something that needs to be taken care of.
Every night when I was doing the last of my dope or whatever to go to bed, I started to really just hope that I didn't wake up.
If you have 20% of an entire generation of young Americans who are addicted to heroin in 10 years, what does that do to our country? What does that do to the future of our country? The future leaders? What's that get? We're gonna wipe out an entire class of people that at some point are gonna lead this country. We gotta get it under control and we gotta do it fast.
Well, these are just like my ties and spoons and pretty much just a little kit. But I broke the needle off, so I can't use it. I seriously don't know how many times I've done this. I moved into my dealer's house. First night I moved into his house, he shot me up for my first time, which I remember that being like how any addict I've ever talked to describes it. It's like mind-blowing. My whole world was just like, and it was like, I just remember like my whole body felt like there was like blood rushing to it. And like my whole body got really warm and like, it was the craziest feeling I've ever experienced to this day. When me and Paul met each other, like we were sober, like we wanted to be sober. You know, he was Paul and I was Desiree, you know what I mean? Like we were healthy living people. You know, we had feelings and emotions and we gave a shit about each other, you know? It's tough. Like it's tough going from meeting someone and they're like this awesome person and you like fall in love with them and stuff like that to like seeing the dark side. Like being a drug addict, you have good days and you have bad days. That's kind of how our relationship is.
Heroin.
Heroin?
Yeah.
Same here.
That's tight though.
Hope you make it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I hope you do too, dude.
Thanks.
Out here, it's like everybody that does any opiate is normally doing heroin. And using a needle is like it's like way more socially accepted out here. I'm tired of losing people, losing friends, losing jobs. Pretty soon I'll lose my girlfriend if I don't keep it together.
Heroin is an absolute epidemic. It is an absolute epidemic. It's probably the #1 drug that we deal with right now and is our biggest problem. The general public doesn't exactly know how much comes into the state. This is a distribution state. That is a fact. Arizona is the biggest, basically, stopping point for drugs. It's the first place they stop.
Border security is getting a lot tighter, the technology is getting a lot better on our end, so they're having to come up with ideas and ways to get around that in order to get their product across. It's, you know, I'm sure you heard this before, it's the big game of cat and mouse.
It's becoming such a burgeoning market for the Sinaloa cartel that they've even transitioned some of their marijuana fields in Mexico to poppies. Maricopa County is the distribution hub for the Sinaloa cartel's heroin market in the United States. They have command and control elements that are operating in Maricopa County as we're sitting here right now speaking.
We share the border with Mexico, and we share the border that the Sinaloa cartel likes to use the most, right? Our border here in Arizona is 370 miles or so, and it's relatively unpopulated. The hard drugs are almost universally smuggled in concealed compartments in motor vehicles.
There's such a demand in the U.S. for hard narcotics. I can tell you that year before last, we seized about 125 kilos, and last year that was up to 250 kilos. So you're looking at a 100% increase from one year to the next.
We've seen packages stuffed underneath the dash, inside the actual upholstery, natural voids of vehicles, hidden compartments, what have you.
They'll use every part of this vehicle, the doors, the rocker panels, the quarter panels, the roof, a false roof or a false floor, the seats. They get creative. They really do.
There's the border, man. We're on West International Street, one street that's parallel with the fence. And as you can tell, it's right there. Unfortunately, the people at the port can't stop everything, and we understand that. But they are our first line of defense when it comes down to that. Nogales itself is basically just a corridor, I guess you could call it, a transfer station. It's one big highway. That's all it is. It's one corridor, one road, easy access to just about anything, incoming and outgoing.